I want to go back to something you mentioned when you were talking about your time at the Beijing Olympics and link it to something I saw you put up online recently about the sort of the mourning period.
Yep.
Grieving period. I think grieving was the word you used after your fight in Beijing. And I saw the other day you'd put something up congratulating the people that didn't qualify for the Olympics.
Mm.
And that might be perceived by some as, a strange thing to do.
Yeah.
I found it, very interesting because it's maybe a side of things people don't always acknowledge or talk about. When you said you grieved the fight, can you go into a little bit more detail about what you meant by that?
Yeah, as in just for the Beijing, yeah. Well, I mean, you put your whole life's on hold for this one event. And there's events along the way. There's nationals and tournaments and overseas trips and stuff. But once you qualify for the Olympic, like I was 12 when I was like, I want to go to the Olympics. And then I'm 22, 23, maybe I just turned 23. So I'm finally there. Like we're talking the amount of money and reps of 𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦 and overseas trips and getting thrown in Japan and Korea and like the amount of sleepless nights you have about winning or losing a tournament. Like there's so much stuff goes into trying to make the Olympics or making the Olympics. Like it's just endless amounts of stuff. Like your entire life and identity is shaped in this whole I'm trying to make the Olympics thing. And especially with the Olympics, you'll find just in social circles, people will say, you might be, I don't know, at a cafe or something. Hey, this is my friend Matt. He's trying to make the Olympics. It kind of, there's this social cred that other people have because you're trying to do something. And so you find that's quite a big deal as well, like for other people rather than yourself. So there's all this stuff goes in the Olympics and you go there and you lose first round and you're like, oh, this sucks. This is not what I cracked, so I fought day one. So I didn't do opening ceremony. I fought day one, lost by an 𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦. Who the heck gets thrown with an 𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦𝗢𝗦? Like a harbor rally sort of weird throw that only Russians and Georgians do. It's not even done anymore, really. And I'm like, man, I was like a victim of going to Japan all the time because Japanese don't throw you with those sort of throws. And anyway, and then I was rooming with a 66-kilo guy who was fighting the next day. And so here I am. I fought, I lost. I watched the gold medal matches. It was incredible. Hung out with my family, went back to the Olympic Village. Here I am sitting at midnight, 11 o'clock at night, midnight. I'm having dinner by myself. And I'm just like, this sucks. Like, here I am, 23. I've reached the goal of making Olympics, not a medal, but getting here. And I fought, lost first round, and now I'm sitting here by myself, and this sucks. Like, is this what it's cracked up to be? Now, if I got a gold medal, it'd be a different story, but it was just going, wow, this is it. Okay, well, this kind of sucks. And then days later, the next day at breakfast, some swimmer or some cyclist, I don't even know who it was like, so when are you fighting? When are you competing? Oh, I competed yesterday. How'd you go? I lost first round. Oh, when do you fight next? That's it. It's finished. They go, what? You finished already? It's only day 2. That's right. I'm finished. They're like, oh, that's weird. Like, it's just weird. Yeah. So anyway, you have to grieve it. You come home and then I started the second part of my life. So 6 months, I think 5 months later, I got married. I started uni and then kind of just started a different kind of thing and still tried to make London, missed out. And then after that, I then tried to make London for wrestling, missed out. And then I retired from competition. But in that period, I kind of made a decision to stop competing after London. Yeah. So I guess you have to grieve it and have to realize. And then after London, I was talking so I lost. Then I called my pastor because I'm a churchgoer. And he said, Matt, the people like you for who you are, not what you do. And I thought, gee whiz, that is true because people like me for who I am, not because I'm some black belt judo dude that went to the Olympics. Like people either like me for who I am, not. And so what I was going to do another video for YouTube and just talk about that your identity is not an Olympian or like you're more than that. Like you and I are more than just judo players. Like I'm a dad, I'm a brother, I'm a son, I'm a friend. I'm so many other things, and judo and grappling is a part of that, but it's not who I am. I'm so much more than that. So yeah, kind of just being aware of that is super important to know. Yeah.
I find it interesting you talk about that identity. And this is something I've had to go through myself, and I think a lot of athletes go through it at a certain point in their career. Is that something you figured out for yourself? in terms of, separating yourself from the, maybe the identity of a judo player or someone going to the Olympics? Or do you have help with that in any way?
My wife's pretty switched on with like counseling stuff. She's just a really nice, kind person that's really good at listening. But she ended up going and she just got her social work degree and counseling and stuff. So she kind of helped me because we talk all the time. But I think it's just about, I remember being young. If someone said to me, oh, here's my friend Matt, one day he's going to go to the Olympics for judo, I'd be like, I think I was the coolest guy ever, because my identity was so wrapped up in that. But I think as you get a little bit older, you kind of, I think just, like I said, the first time in my past, I said, Matt, people like you for who you are, not because of what you do. That was a big like, oh yeah, like people do like me for who I am. Like if I quit judo today, people like me for who I am, not because I'm a judo coach or whatever. So I think it's just really important to do that. But if you do need to see counseling, go to a counselor or whatever, or talk to people and your mentors and stuff like that to kind of help you kind of understand who you really are. But I think also, I remember I went to a psych and they were like, so what do you value? And I was like hard work, dedication. She said, but what are your values? I was like, what do you mean? She's like, what do you value in life? And I had no idea. And I remember when someone said to me, Matt, what makes you angry? I'm like, I don't know. And like, I was like, I literally don't know what makes me angry and what I value in life. Like, because I'm so focused on myself that I just have these blinkers on about life. And then, through reading and stuff like that, you slowly start developing, okay, what do I actually value in life? And, what are my morals and my values and that sort of stuff, and kind of just go on that personal development journey sort of thing. I was even talking to a friend of mine the other day. His wife was an Olympian as well. He goes, I think she's kind of finally realized that she's no longer an Olympian. Now, she competed in 2012. So even for her, it's taken 10 years to realize I'm no longer an Olympian anymore. Like it's even taken her 10 years. So I think it's, just an interesting thing. And I think we all need to go on that sort of journey of that personal development of, who you are and who do you think you are and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
That was great. As when I saw that post that you put up about it, and I thought it was fantastic because I think it's something that's not talked about enough. And as you said earlier on, there's more people that have lost at the Olympics than have won. So there's a lot of people going through that where, they've countless sacrifices that they've, made to get to that point. And, there's more people leaving the Olympics disappointed than are happy. And I don't think it's a side of the things that are spoken about enough or acknowledged enough. It seems to be changing. People like yourself that, sharing their thoughts on it. I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's just important for people to know that, and I think I put that post up because I do motivational speaking at schools. Like I work for the Australian Olympic Committee. And honestly, these Olympians that missed out this year or qualified this year, they will look back in 10 years and be proud of themselves for trying. Like you and I know so many judo players that are like 45, 40, or however old they are. And they go, do you know what? I was actually pretty good at judo, but then I went and got a full-time job and I never actually tried. Or then I quit and I came back in my 30s, or I quit and came back in my 40s. Gee, I wish I stuck with it. Like all these people are going to look back and go, I was actually pretty good. I could have gone somewhere, but I quit. And so all these Olympians that didn't make it, they're going to look back and go, do you know what? I'm so glad I tried, because in 15 years' time, they'll look back and they'll be proud of themselves for actually trying their absolute best to get there. And that is a testimony in itself, and sometimes you not making it is a better testimony for up and coming people that you don't always get your dreams. Like it's not all sunshine and rainbows, like it's, there's a lot more losers and winners in the world, but the real winners are the ones that try. But you get what I mean though. Like a lot of people chase their dreams and miss out, but at least they tried and had the opportunity to, and that's super important.
Yeah, we were always brought up with that sentiment at our judo club. There was a plaque on the wall. This is back in the UK, Bakel Judo Club. There's, I think it was Roosevelt who said it, but this was like a condensed version. And it was far better to dare mighty things than to rank with those poor timid souls that know neither victory nor defeat.
Yeah, that's right.
The idea is, you're better off giving it a go and failing than just not even bothering giving it a go at all.